Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Comics with Callaway, and this is my review of the new X-Men #6 by Hickman. I really like this issue. It was really good. Mystique played a very, very good role in this book, and she was a couple of steps ahead of Charles and Magneto, who in this book, Charles, he's quite evil a little bit. Very, very vindictive, but we'll get into it. So we got Mystique and talking to Irene, looking out over a sunset, and Irene's telling her of some things are about to happen, and and Mystique won't believe any of it. We got these pages here. It is Dr. Gregor. She's trying to make a mother mold. At least I think that's what she's trying to do. And so we got this page, and this is the first. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't read the other X books. Excalibur, Marauders, and things, and them. I've only been reading X-Men and the X-Force, but correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first book that I've noticed that doesn't have the white pages. It has this page, the info page, if you want to call it that, and then the credits scene, the credits page, but it doesn't have the awful essay page that the previous issue had. So maybe they've been listening to the fans. Maybe them long white pages were getting annoying. There's just too much reading in it, and quite often, more often than not, in the long white pages they would have all the action in that you'd want to see in the book, but they never put it in there. So in this one, Charles and sorry if I've got glare. The lighting here is terrible. The weather's not the greatest, so we don't have much lighting. In this issue, Charles needs Mystique to do a job for him. He needs her to go to the mother mold orbiting the sun and plant a flower, so they can build a gateway from Krakoa to the mother mold. And this is what Mystique and Irene were talking about at the start of the book. She plants the seed, and then the people that are already up there find her, and she says, hey there, got some bad news for you. And they push the button here, and it looks like it opens up a door and sucks her out into the atmosphere, and she dies. And while she's dying, we got this narration here. You plant our seed on the Orcus station. We get what we want, and you get what you want. And she wanted, in return, she wanted Irene back. And so Xavier, like computers, just brings them back to life after she dies. But then when she died beyond the reach of Cerebro. So they can't tell if she planted the seed or not, and if it worked. They could only, this is like a computer. They brought her back to life, but they've only been able to reboot her into her last backup before she left. And then here Xavier says, the mother mold is gone, yes, but as to the other, we believe you succeeded, but we need to know that you did. So because she died outside of Cerebro's reach, they can't tell if the seed worked. So now they need her to go back through the gateway to see if the gateway worked, because for the gateways to work to plant the seed, there's 2 gates. And here she says, what happens if I just walk through the gate and it didn't grow? And Xavier says, well, you need a gate on both sides. If it didn't work, you would just walk through the first gate and nothing would happen. You would stay where you are. So she goes up there to the mother mold and she does a Mystique thing, and she says, bad news. And she comes back, she said, and then they say, well, we took our shot and we missed. What happened? And Mystique says, most of it's beyond my ken, but it looks to me that your belief that Nimrod comes from the mother mold is wrong. There's a scientist there, Alia Gregor, who's building something that looks just like one. And Magneto says, I really like this. This is where Mystique's character in this book, she outsmarts him a bit. Why didn't you take care of it? Haven't you heard? We have laws. So Mystique's she's one step ahead of him. And Magneto goes, not for that, not for them, and let's be honest, not for you. If you thought it needed doing, so why didn't you? And Mystique comes back, because I needed you to know, and now you do. And Xavier says, no, it's more than that. Out with it, Raven. And Raven says, I've been helpful, I've been cooperative. As much as it's not in my nature, I've done my part, but I'm not doing one more thing until you give it to me. And Xavier says, that wasn't the deal. And Mystique says, I don't care, bring her back. And Xavier says, Raven, after all this time, after all your years of you stabbing your own kind in the back just to get what you want, after all, do you really think we can trust you? And she screams, I want my wife back. Sorry, that's probably not the best Mystique voice. And she will return when you have earned it. We need you to do this. It must be done. And and then it goes back to, this is where Mystique says, I really hate you, Charles, and they don't get that. They're talking. And then here we go back to where Mystique is remembering that she's talking to Irene, and Irene says to her, there will be an island, not at first, but the last. This place will seem to be hope for our kind. They will invite you in, lift you up, and then deny you the one thing you want. Oh, they will promise it to you, but they will do everything they can not to honour their word because they're afraid. They want us blind for some reason. But you and I, my dear, we're born to see. And then Mystique says, I don't understand any of this. And then I know, but when it's time, you will. And when those days come, remember these words. Bring me back. If they will not, then burn that place to the ground. And that's it. This book was, after, issue 5 was good. They started building. Hickman his first 3 books were pretty sad, to be honest. They were pretty boring and just crap. X-Men 4 was the one with the Magneto at the summit, and he was eating dinner and he was just telling them what it is, and he laid the smack down. And then issue 5, where they went down to Ecuador. Issue 5 was where you could see Hickman was building to something, and then this issue here really it opened up a lot and sort of set a lot of things up. And I think in this issue you can really see, or to me anyway, I might be wrong, but you can really see that Xavier, he's not Xavier. He seems quite evil and just sort of doesn't care about anyone. And he only cares about his goals. So definitely pick this issue up. I really liked it. I'm only new to this whole X-Men thing. I was only born in the 90s, so I didn't really get to read X-Men back in the day. But I've jumped on this new reboot since House of X, and really liking it so far. But this issue was really good. Mystique, she showed how smart she is, and I think she's a couple of steps ahead of Charles and Magneto. So I look forward to the next issue and seeing where it goes. So that's it, guys. If you're not reading X-Men, check out Hickman's run. X-Force is good by Percy. And please, much appreciated. Like, subscribe, share my content, and we'll grow the channel. Thanks, guys.